cycling
Biwa.
beaches.
In my country, the only yellow water is sewage. Every other Tory is on the land. Just this one thing, they went, you know what? Stick the Tory in the middle of the water. That'd be a good place to enter this shrine.
Hey, podcast kittens, it's Cathy Cat.
Ladybeard coming at you with another like, share, and subscribing installment of
Cat with Beard.
How are you today, my dear?
I am great, because this is another Travel Japan episode.
Yes, that's your jam.
Exactly, and we have actually done a couple of installments of this before, so if you're new, be sure to check out the old ones.
Yep.
Tells you where to travel apart from Tokyo, anywhere in Japan that is interesting. I mean, obviously Tokyo is included as well, but all the different regions of Japan.
Today, we have the Japanese region with the sexiest name out of all of them.
Yes, this region is Kinki
Kinki.
region.
Ooh, it's not what you're thinking. Get your head out of your gutter. Describe the word Kinki, Cathy Cat, and why it's called that.
Well, the Kinki region refers to 6 prefectures, such as Osaka, Kyoto, Hyogo, Nara, Shiga, and Wakayama.
It's a name. Kinki is the name of the region encompassing those regions.
Yes, and a lot of people encompass or know the word Kansai, but actually the region is called the Kinki region.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Hey, is there actually a difference between Kansai and Kinki? Is it the same area, just with 2 different names?
The hell is Shiori?
Shaz?
Yeah, it's just the same name with different, same area with different names.
Is there a reason that has 2 different names, or just for fun?
Just for fun.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, well, this is a more fun name than Kansai, so let's hit it.
Yes, definitely. So, since the Kinki region includes Kyoto and Nara, which was once the capital of Japan.
That's right.
Many places have a lot of historical significance.
That's
and
right.
Right now, they're like the hot spots to travel to.
Yeah,
it's
a good bit of the country, isn't it? There's a lot of interesting things to see down there. There's a lot of fun to be had as well. So let's get into it. Number 1, we have Hyogo.
Yeah, we thought we'd first take you to Hyogo because that is a little bit less known than, for example, Osaka and Kyoto.
That's
Hyogo actually has Himeji Castle.
This thing's amazing. Have you been there? You seen it in real life?
I haven't yet, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. My friend Mai from KRD8, they're like a group from Himeji, an idol group from Himeji.
Oh, yeah.
And she mentioned the castle a lot. So apparently it's absolutely beautiful. It's like pale white, like it's also called the White Heron Castle. And during the cherry blossom season, having that white castle and all the cherry blossoms around apparently looks absolutely amazing. That's why it also became a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
That's correct. So this castle, a bunch of layers, and they call it the White Heron Castle because actually the way it's structured with all these triangles and whatnot, it looks like a heron in flight. That's what they say. And of course it's bright white, so that's why it's called the White Heron Castle.
Yeah, it's actually built as far back as in... built back in time. Numbers.
In 1333 is when it was built. Cathy Cat saw a 1, then 3 3s, and struggled with the numbers.
Yeah,
Poor Cathy Cat.
I was like, I'll let you do that.
Poor Cathy
Give us
Cat.
the dates, please. Give us the dates.
Poor Cathy Cat. 1, and then 50% of the devil. Moving on. Now, things from Hyogo.
Wait. So that was in 1600s, in the 1600s.
Well, it was the 1300s, 1333. Then they expanded on the 1600s. That's right.
That is a long time ago.
And they kept it intact despite wars, despite natural disasters, despite, tourism. They've kept the whole thing going 100% as it used to be. So that's very impressive.
Respect. Japanese castles generally look very different from Western castles, so definitely be sure to check it out.
Yeah, well, there were no knights in shining armor running around them on horseback, were they? They were samurai instead. And daimyos and things up there.
Next one is going to get tasty because we're going to Kobe beef.
Kobe beef. Kobe's a beautiful city. You've been to Kobe, yeah?
I've been to Kobe briefly.
Kobe's great. You get off the train in that mountain, and you got to go down that long escalator into town. Kobe's beautiful. It's a beautiful place. Yeah. Kobe beef. Now, you probably know of the Kobe beef. It's like the most delicious beef on planet Earth in history.
Literally, they bring in this sometimes to food fairs all around the world. There was a food fair in Munich where they actually, let people try Kobe beef. It's known for its marbling, so having like fat, but not in big chunks, but actually gently marbled. It's very, very tender. It's a rich flavor, and it comes from the Tajima cattle raised under very strict conditions.
Yeah, that's exactly right, which, by the way, is the most Japanese thing I've ever heard. We must raise cows, strict condition! But the cows are treated like gods. The cows get massaged. They play them relaxing music so the cows can be all chill.
They have some beer
feed them
even.
beer.
They
get
get
the cows
drinks.
drunk all day long, and then they slaughter them for beef.
Yeah,
so it's a great life until the slaughter part.
Apparently, like those strict criteria, you have to be met to be certified as authentic Kobe beef. So you can't just go to your cow next neighbor's cow and like play it some music and give it some massages. That will not qualify it for proper Kobe beef.
That's what I'm doing with the neighbors anyway. I'm hoping that somehow they'll just turn into cows so they can
When
sell
you
for
play,
delicious
play some music to your neighbors, give them a massage, you know,
right.
and some beer. Oh, you wine and dine your cows.
And of course, once we've filled up on delicious drunken massage beef, we can head to the Arima Onsen.
Ooh, is one of those great onsens. They are actually called, what was it, Healing Golden Waters? The Arima Onsen has. So that one is like, it has like a golden hot spring and a silver hot spring. They contain minerals like iron but also radium, which is believed to have healing effects.
Radium.
Yeah.
What's radium on the periodic table?
Array?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yay!
Yes, that's right.
Thank you, Sensei.
But the water in this onsen actually it's yellow, yeah? It's yellow water, which sounds unhealthy. So how can it be that it's so delightful and good for you?
Yeah.
Charles?
I mean, it has a lot of like nutrients, like minerals and irons. That's why it looks like almost like bronze color.
Oh, I see. So it's the metals in the water that
Yeah,
give it that.
metals in the water.
Get
that makes
absorbed
you
then by the
healthy.
skin if you bathe
In my
it.
country, the only yellow water is sewage.
Well-
so you don't want to bathe in that.
Nope. But this one is a very, very good one. But we're now moving over to an area that most of you guys will have heard about, and that's Osaka!
Oh, soccer!
I mean, everyone probably the most famous pictures or the most known pictures of all the tourists are literally from Dotonbori. The big stretched arms Glico man
the
that is
Glico
standing
man.
there on his right
man.
leg.
My first ever job I did in Japan was a TV commercial for Glico.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Were you doing the standing like the Glico man with your hands raised and standing on
No,
your...
I was just some
right
extra in this long Glico ad with some scene where we were walking up a mountain, bunch of foreigners walking up a mountain. Yeah. So and then whoever the main star was popped out of a backpack and made everyone happy, and then we ate chocolate. That was the thing.
Sounds like fun. Glico is a sweets company,
Yes.
mainly, but they also do other things. But Dotonbori has this big sign of the running Glicoman, as well as lots and lots of food places, karaoke places. It's like a hub. That symbol of the Glicoman has been there since 1935.
1935. Not bad, eh? Again, survived all the wars and everything. Good. Very impressive.
It was first a theater district, apparently, but
That's
now
right.
it's just anything, everything. That's
Yeah.
the hub. Everyone goes there to have a good time.
But Osaka, particularly Dotonbori, is the capital of Japanese comedy and show business and entertainment and what have you. So most of the famous comedians are all from Osaka, and even if they're not, they kind of pretend that they are. They will speak Osaka Ben and everything.
Yeah, Osaka has like a really own type of humor, which actually, by the way, we have an episode on Japanese humor, so be sure to check that one out.
We've said this 1,000 times on the podcast, but my understanding is that Osaka was kind of like New Orleans for Japan, when back 1,000 years ago there was some bunch of laws or something, and it encouraged everyone to spend money on entertainment and hospitality. So that meant a lot of alcohol was there and good times were there. And so it became the entertainment and good times and theater and show business capital of the country.
And that makes sense. So go there to have a good time. Nah.
You can also, after you've hit up Dotonbori, you can head on down to Universal Studios Japan, eh?
Yes, and they recently have installed a new feature which is Super Nintendo World, and they added really recently, the Donkey Kong area. I've been to both. I can highly recommend you that. If you love any of the Mario games, go there. I went there before they officially opened it, dressed as Princess Peach.
Yeah.
And I filmed going around. The staff was like super welcoming. Everyone said like, oh, happy birthday, because it was my birthday. And a couple of others went like, oh, it's your queen, your highness. And it was fantastic. They have a huge Mario and Luigi that come and visit people. They have Toad, but they also have Princess Peach there. And now obviously they also have Donkey Kong. And there's tons of rides in there as well. They have like, which is most famous one I think is the Mario AR, but the Donkey Kong one, that is a ride. I don't want to take too much away from it, but that's a wild ride. You're not allowed any hats. You're not allowed any scarves. And I actually had to take my Princess Peach wig off when I went there the second time because it is quite wild.
So it's a roller coaster then.
It is a roller coaster.
I see, okay.
But one thing that's very unique to that park is you get things called power bands that contain a chip. So if you go to any of those boxes, you can literally punch them like Mario punches the question mark cubes. And there will be like the sound of coins and you collect things which then will show up on your Universal app. They can be translated into certain stamps and stickers and stuff like that. So there's a lot of ways to play and there's some little mini games there as well.
Well, that sounds awesome. I've not been yet, I must tell you, but it does sound, everyone raves about it, so it sounds awesome.
And there's tons of goodies there. So once you go there, you will probably get home with lots of stuff.
Were you a staunch player of the Mario games in your youth?
I literally just played Mario yesterday.
Did you really?
Yes. I'm not a great player, but yes.
What were you playing?
The recent one with the cats. Now, from the top of my head, I don't know, where everyone can go into cats. If you played the game, please let me know down which Mario that was.
On the Shinkansen, on the Yamanote at the moment, they've got the advertisement for the new Donkey Kong one that's all over the place, the new Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, if you actually go currently on the Yamanote line as well, they do usually a Pikmin quiz as well, which is you see an item zoomed in and then you zoom out more and more and you have to guess what it is before you see the finished item.
Just quickly, so I'm sorry, I don't know. What are the Pikmin?
Pikmin, that's a different game from the Mario series. Yeah, it's like where you kind of you travel. You travel in space. You follow Olimar on his journey, and then he meets those tiny things called Pikmin.
You follow whom?
Olimar is the name of the guy who goes into space. And he meets...
In the Mario games?
Oh my god, no. It's a completely different game.
What game is it?
Pikmin.
Oh, the game is Pikmin.
The game is called Pikmin.
But who the hell is Olimar?
That's the guy who travels and meets the Pikmin.
Well, why is the game not called Olimar's Pikmin Adventure? Anyway, keep going.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so he meets this tiny Pikmin, and actually if you go to Super Nintendo World, they will be hidden somewhere. So it's instead of like find Mickey, like what you do at Disney, you have like find the Pikmin. They will be hidden in different spaces, and if you find them, good job finding them.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, but anyways, this is a lot of pop culture. Obviously, Osaka with the closeness to Kyoto, it makes sense because Kyoto has a lot of Nintendo stuff. That's where Nintendo is located.
Right.
So it makes sense to have that fairly close as well to Kyoto. Going to mention that in a moment as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's definitely a really cool area to go to. And then if you have time, you can also go to Kyoto at the Nintendo Museum, which also has opened recently. Or you go to the Nintendo Hotel, that also is pretty cool. And that's also in Kyoto. So the Nintendo Hotel and Museum is in Kyoto, while Super Nintendo World with the whole Mario and Donkey Kong area, that's in Osaka. But they're really close to each other.
Thank goodness, Nintendo's taking over.
Yes.
All right, and then while we're there, we can also hit up Osaka Castle, of course.
If you want to be more on the cultural side, Osaka Castle.
Mm-hmm. Originally built in a number...
1583?
That's right, by your mate, Toyotomi Hideyoshi, played a key role in the unification of Japan, and the current castle tower was reconstructed in 1931 and houses a museum. Shoz, I have a question. How did this castle help unify Japan?
It's like a kind of symbol because it was built by Toyotomi Hideyoshi, who actually unified the whole country after the Sengoku Jidai.
He was an emperor. After the Warring States
he was
period.
the shogun at the time.
Shogun.
Yes, and he actually after Oda Nobunaga, he unified the whole country.
Right, I see. Hang on. So he was in charge of Kinki, and then he said to everyone else, let's stop being at war, I'll unify this place, essentially?
No, he was in charge of... So Shogun's main role is to protect Japan from the outside. Overseas countries, other countries.
Australians. Yep.
So, generally speaking, he was the leader of army of Japan, and then he conquered all the countries.
Oh, he conquered it all. It wasn't a peaceful unification. It was, I'm in charge now, do as I say.
Yeah, there was a war between east part of Japan and west part of Japan, and he won the war.
All right.
That's why he is now the leader of the country, and then he built this castle as a symbol of unification of Japan. Yes.
All right.
All right, little history lesson there while you're learning about where to go. Find out about the history.
Hide nailed it.
But go to the castle itself to find out more about it and delve deeper into history. We're going to go switch over now to my favorite place, Kyoto.
Kyoto?
I think I've been there last year more times I can count. At least
What's your
5
favorite
times.
place, Kyoto?
I do love all the areas, but the area I end up going the most to is Kyoto.
Okay.
So Kyoto is probably, because it has one area that has very big significance to me, and that's Kiyomizu-dera. It's that temple that is kind of up in the mountain. It's like it gently leans its head against the mountain. From that shrine, from that temple, you can see all of Kyoto. There are also some shrines on there. We actually mentioned that in the love episode that we've done. But the temple itself is just absolutely beautiful, built up in that mountain. They have like streams of holy water and the whole atmosphere. This is one of the places I've been to and I was like, wow, I feel like really moved. I'm really glad to be here. It has for me very personal significance. So Kiyomizu-dera is definitely one of those places that I'll always try to go to if I can, up in the mountain. But there's another one that most of the foreigners know because it's so visually pleasing, and that is Fushimi Inari Taisha.
1,000,000,000 billion torii gates.
Have you been?
I don't think so.
Okay. It is literally also another one that's on a mountain. So you kind of go like, there's a lower area where a lot of people just go to like pray and, but if you're really hardcore, you go all the way up. It takes you a long time to go all the way up into that mountain.
5 hours?
Depends on how long you're walking, but probably invest more than an hour. A lot of people go and then halfway through they're like, oh wow, this is still continuing. I'm going to go back down.
Really?
Yeah, but what I did for one New Year's night is literally I celebrated New Year's night at Kiyomizu-dera and then to watch the sunrise, I went over to Fushimi Inari and then climbed all the steps up to the top and then watched the sunrise of the new year from the top of it.
Sounds lovely. It's good you're allowed to do it at night.
Well, there were a lot of people who did that.
Sounds dangerous though.
Climbing
a mountain at night?
That one is actually open during all year, especially during New Year's night. So I think if you're going to do that, maybe do it during New Year's. I think that's the safest way to do that.
Why is this shrine? It's dedicated to Inari, who's the god of rice, prosperity, and fox spirits.
Yes. Another thing, it has literally 10,000 torii gates that are forming paths up into the mountain. Just a piece of advice here. There was recently an incident where one of the foreigners, I think, tried to scratch something on a torii gate or like hang from a torii gate. Yeah. Don't do that. That is like literally, it's sacred. That area is sacred. Don't play around with it.
Generally good advice to Japan. Try not to be a douche. We've got a episode on how not to be a douche in Japan. You can watch that episode as well.
Yeah, they don't do that.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble. Next up, we have the old Golden Pavilion.
Yeah, Kinkakuji.
I have been to this one.
That's a famous one.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Have you been to Ginkakuji, the silver one too?
No, I don't think so. There's a silver one too?
There's a silver and a golden one.
Here we are with all these matching pavilions. I don't know about. Anyway, to the gold one. Tell us about it, Cathy Cat.
Well, it was built as a retirement villa for the shogun in 1397.
Good number.
I'm so glad I can read numbers now. I'm glad I was a bit held up at the start of this. The top 2 floors are covered with gold leaf, reflecting beautifully in the pond during, snow, and especially during the cherry blossom season. It's like so picturesque, you can't even believe it exists.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. I do remember, when I went there, it did strike me as extremely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And another one, that's a bit of a tricky one to recommend you, is Gion.
Yeah, Gion's a whole thing, isn't it?
So if you visit it in the evening, you might have had a chance to spot a real-life geisha, but right now, you probably not. Because we had a problem with tourists coming and stopping the geisha trying to go to work, so much that she couldn't go to work anymore because they would form big crowds and they wouldn't let her go. And she's not allowed to say anything. She was trying to get away from it, but they wouldn't let her go. So she was late for her job, which is like a no-no in Japan. So they started to first have the rule of you're not allowed to take pictures. That did not work because tourists just blatantly ignored it.
Like.
Now there are areas in Gion that foreigners can't go into anymore at all.
I ruined it for everyone.
So Gion it's really close to the city center, so you might have to really stay alert when you are walking around the area. There are small areas you're allowed to visit. For example, there was a green tea place I went to and was just on the corner. But then a lot of the other areas you're not allowed in as a tourist anymore because tourists have ruined it for others. Sorry.
Yeah. Go watch our How to Not Be a Douche in Japan episode.
Yeah, we have an episode on that on the podcast of a couple of foreigners and influencers ruining it for everyone. Well, unfortunate. But Kyoto is wonderful. It is quite crowded with tourists at this point in time, but if you're smart about it, respect the rules, and try not to be a nuisance to the people living there, then you should be fine going.
All right, after Kyoto, where are we going to head, Cathy Cat?
We can right from Kyoto head to Nara on the Aoniyoshi train.
No,
it's a tourism train that takes you to Nara. That is beautiful. By the way, book that in advance if you can. Nara is known for a lot of things, but mostly to its deer.
Deer! Cat with deer!
Exactly, cat with deer. They have deer there and they will actually be bowing to you. They
Yeah.
also sell deer snacks there at certain areas. About 1,200 deers just roam freely around the city. And they are sacred messengers from the gods.
Interesting how it's only Nara who got the deer, because deer exist in the rest of the country, yeah, but somehow they consolidated themselves in Nara.
No. They're not just in Nara. They're also near that really big torii gate. That is Miyajima.
Miyajima.
And the floating gate of Itsukujima Jinja?
Oh, yeah.
Itsukushima Jinja.
Itsukushima Jinja.
They also have deer there. But coming back to Nara, Nara is known for a lot of things, but what they also have is a shrine dedicated to ice. I was lucky to be there. And currently they have a big trend for kakigori, for artisan crafted kakigori shaved ice.
Okay, good.
So
good.
if you're planning to come in the hotter season especially, but also in winter, delicious. They have turned this into an art. There's even a whole brochure of the different places you can go to try that ice. We've done a video about that, about Japanese shaved ice on Ash Japanese. Check that one out because it's so good. Yes.
I love shaving my ice. Yeah, I'm going to do my ice to sort this out.
Shave that ice.
Shave that ice. Next, where we hang, Kaga.
Todaiji Temple.
Yes, the Todaiji Temple houses the Great Buddha, one of the largest bronze Buddha statues on Earth, or just in Japan. Built
Japan.
in a number, 1752. That's when it was built.
It's one of the most historically significant temples in Japan.
Yep, the Daibutsu, the Great Buddha Hall, was once the largest wooden building in the world. So look at that.
Wow, yeah, you have to have a lot of space to get that Buddha in there.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Largest wooden building in the world. All right, well, your kryptonite would be termites, wouldn't it? You don't want any of them showing up to ruin your giant wooden structure.
Hopefully not. Mount Yoshino
We're going to head to Mount Yoshino.
is stunning for its cherry blossom trees in spring.
We have this photo here. This really looks spectacular, doesn't
So
it?
it's literally, do you see the whole mountain? And it's different shades of pink. So there are over 30,000 cherry blossom trees all over there, creating a layered pink effect.
Tell you what, before you come to Japan, everyone bangs on about these cherry blossoms all the time. And I really was thinking to myself, it's just a flower. How good's it going to be? When you see it, wow, they're beautiful. It's just remarkable.
Can't wait for it this year.
So like with this gimmick here at Mount Yoshino, like I'm looking at the photo going, that I can imagine what that would be like to be at physically, and it would just be breathtaking.
We're going to move on to Shiga, which has the large lake Biwa. It's Japan's largest lake. They have boating, cycling,
Biwa.
beaches. Oh no, you spell it differently. Biwa, Biwa. They also have like very interesting cultures there of like animals and stuff like that as well. It's estimated to be over 4 million years old. One of the world's oldest lakes.
Get out of here, really? And then they stuck this torii right in the middle of the water like that.
Well, this Shirahiga Shrine has a torii in the water, a solemn old shrine with a large torii gate on the lake. Creates a solemn atmosphere.
So hang on, so where is the shrine itself? Is it on an island or something?
The shrine is around it, but it's not on the water.
So why did they stick the torii in the water?
I mean, Tori, in generally speaking, that is like a guide for God to come to the shrine.
Okay.
So anywhere you want to guide the god to, there's a Tori. That's the reason.
I see, all right. But why in the water? Why not on the land? Would that make more sense?
They have the Tori on land as well, but they
I
have
see.
they have that on the water as well.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
So they doubled up on their tories. Well, no wonder. I know too many tories. Let's move on. Thank you, Shaz.
Ow.
Thank you, Shaz. Next, we're going to head on to Hikone Castle, which is one of Japan's original castle, featuring little mascot, your maid Hikonyan.
Hikone looks like a cat which is wearing one of those big samurai hats. It's a white cat with a big samurai hat.
Oh, is he a cat, is he? I couldn't tell what he
Well,
was.
Nyan is usually
No, he's just cats. Good point.
cats.
Yeah, good point.
I think it's one of my fellow species.
This thing is cute in the way that only a Japanese mascot can be cute. This thing is adorable. And a samurai. So if you're into violence and cuteness, then this is the perfect mascot for you.
Anyways, it was completed in 1622. The castle, the
another number.
Hikone Castle.
Yes.
It's one of the only 12 original castles that survived without reconstruction.
Yeah, which is good because you got to reconstruct those
usually-
things. They go bad over time, don't they?
Also, fires are often a
Fire.
reason. They're made out of wood.
Australians, you got to be careful of these things coming in and ruining your heritage.
There's also a museum called the Miho Museum.
Miho Museum.
It has like stunning architecture, if you're into that, and exhibits.
And it was designed by the same architect who made the Louvre in Paris, which is very impressive.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. I've been to the Louvre. Have you ever been there? I haven't been
yet.
in, but I've been outside the Louvre. It's mainly a glass triangle from the outside.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's known for, I guess.
Yeah, but that's not what this is at all.
Nope.
This is Miho Museum.
Yeah.
Totally different place.
The museum houses artifacts from ancient civilizations, including Egypt, China, and Greece. So it's not just Japan.
It's not bad. It's not bad. After that, we're going to head to your mate Wakayama.
We're going to hit the mountain. We're going to whack the Yama.
We're going to whack that Yama. I've been to some of this place. I've been to whack my Yama. It's the best. First, we're heading to Mount Koya, sacred place, ancient temples with a mystical atmosphere.
Mount Koya.
Love mystical atmospheres.
Have you been there?
I haven't been to Koya. I can't remember if I went up Koya, but I went to the next place that we're going to, which is the Kumano Kodo, which is a historic pilgrimage trail, which involves immersing yourself in nature and a spiritual experience, and you put on a giant hat and you walk up a big old mountain.
Oh, like a pilgrimage thing. Did you put on the giant hat?
I put on the hat.
Ooh,
I took photos of me in the hat.
Good.
You can see it in my second photo book.
And you went and climbed up that mountain?
I climbed that mountain in a funny hat and wooden shoes, and the shoes were more inconvenient for climbing than the hat.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah. But it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so what you going to do? Going to do what they tell you.
Special, yeah. You know what I mean? It's part of the pilgrimage, doing it like, people used to do it.
Pilgrims been doing that for over 1,000 years, so get your head around that one.
Yeah, and one
Dave.
of the people been doing that, Ladybeard.
Exactly.
Next one, Shirahama, the white beaches and hot springs with an ocean view.
Apparently this beach, they bullied sand from frickin' Australia. They pull sand from my country to dump at this Japanese beach. Keep in mind, we don't have enough sand on our own beaches. I don't know what kind of export control system was lacking when they made this arrangement.
A lot of sandy beaches in Japan are either gray or, in that case, imported. So
volcanic rock, it's a sand made of volcanic rock. That's why it's gray. So this is not. It's white. That's why I brought from Australia.
It's brought on over from your country.
Yeah, it's the only way. We're plenty of sand.
I would love to add a little bit more to Wakayama because I've been there before.
Tell us about that Yama you walked.
Yeah, so there was near the Bay of Osaka, the Osaka Bay, there is actually a ryokan called Hina no Yu.
Okay.
So I went there with Ash Japanese and we filmed there and we had like great food there. But right next to it is also the Awashima Shrine. And so from the hotel or from the ryokan, you have a view over the Bay of Osaka Bay, which is great. But then you go out and left and you are at that special Awajima Shrine, which houses or where people bring, it's Hina Matsuri on the 6th of March, which is like girls' festival, and people display lots of dolls. Now, Japan believes that items can have a spirit sooner or later. We've had episodes about that. So what do you do if you don't need those dolls anymore?
Burn them.
They have a spirit in them, so you don't want to upset the spirit.
Okay, no, you don't burn them. That's a terrible thing to do. You donate them to a charity providing dolls to underprivileged kids.
I mean, you might do that. Maybe you should do that. But in Japanese belief, you don't want to upset that spirit that's in it.
Okay.
So a lot of people bring it to that shrine.
A horror film around all these spirited, disused dolls. Called like Revenge of the Million Dolls. All right, what do you do, Cathy Cat? Tell us the truth.
Yes, you bring it over to the Awashima Shrine. So if you actually go around that shrine, it's interesting. There are tons and tons of dolls, but also other statues that are said to have a spirit in it. For example, the 12 animal signs.
Okay. Oh, yes, okay.
They will be displayed there. A lot of those tanukis that you see in front of stores, they will also be there. So the former owners bring them to the shrine with like a wish of, that whatever spirit may reside in these items to like, peacefully be there. And once a year, they do a thing called Hina Nagashi, which is pretty much in the old days, they rinsed those dolls and brought them to the ocean. But obviously, right now, climate, social change, it's not good to put those dolls directly into the sea. So what they're doing is, I think they're packing them on a boat They go out into the bay and then they come back and like do some prayers to like not upset the spirits and like calm and thank you and such and so forth. So that's a really interesting thing that's happening there. It's definitely worth checking it out.
All right, well, I'm glad they take good care of those dolls.
They do.
They take care of the spirits. It's important.
Another thing is that there's a station in Wakayama, which is Kishi Station, and it has the world's most adorable station master.
Okay, tell me more.
It's the station master is Tama, and it's a cat.
Okay.
And now there's different Tamas. There's like Ni Tama and Yon Tama, so they have different Tama cats, but they're actually the station masters. They have like tiny little hats, and they're in charge of that station. Also, that's on the Wakayama Electric Railway, and it's the Kishigawa line.
Okay.
So if you're lucky, you might actually get one of their decorated trains. They can be strawberry themed, or they can be cat themed. And that station, the Kishi station with the cute cat conductor, again, that's on Japanese, ha ha ha. That one also looks like a cat.
All right, well, I have ascertained why you are such a fan of this location.
It is very cute. If you have some time in Wakayama, hop
Very
on that
cat-centric.
Wakayama Electric Railway, go to Kishi Station and meet their cute station master.
Speaking of cats, I think we've reached a conclusion of this episode of Cat with Beard.
Yes.
You have anything else you want to add about Kinki? Kinki, give us a review. Give us the Cathy Cat opinion.
I mean, this is a great region, and as always, I can recommend you don't just go to Osaka and Kyoto. I love Kyoto, but all the other regions have so much to offer. For example, some of those are not as well connected with the Shinkansen, but if you find out how to get there even without that, maybe take a bus or similar things like that, you will not regret it. It will give you a much more in-depth experience of Japan.
All right, well, we hope you've enjoyed us telling you all about the Kinki region of Japan, also known as Kansai, also known as Kinki. So, on that note,
See you for another
holiday.